Welcome students to the third module of chapter number 3, Diversity in Living Things and their Classification. In previous modules, we have seen diversity in plants and their classification. In this module, we will learn about diversity in animals and their classification. Children, different animals have developed different shapes to survive in the environment. There is great variety in the body structure of animals also. Some animals cannot be seen with our eyes, while some are very huge. Some can swim in the water, while some can fly high in the sky. Each animal has different features. In animals, there is a lot of diversity with respect to food and their feeding habits also. Children, as I have told you before, there are some animals which cannot be seen with our eyes because they are very small. Such small animals can be seen with help of microscope. Let us see one activity. Take a drop of water from a pond and place it on a glass slide. Observe it under a microscope. What do you see? You will see innumerable moving microbes as I have shown in the picture. This moving microbe is nothing but the amoeba, which is a unicellular organism. Unicellular organisms consist of a single cell as their body. This means all life processes such as reproduction, feeding, digestion and excretion occur in one cell. The paramecium is also a unicellular organism. Multicellular organisms consist of multiple cells. Multicellular organisms can be easily seen with help of naked eyes. All plants and animals that we can see around us are multicellular organisms. Multicellular organism has very well developed organ system. For example, plants have root, stem and leaf, and we animals have lungs, stomach, intestine, etc. to carry out various life processes like respiration, digestion, etc. In animal kingdom, animals have been classified into two main categories based on the presence or absence of the vertebral column, that is backbone. Animals with a vertebral column are called as vertebrates. Vertebrates includes birds, fishes, amphibians, etc. Vertebrates possess a well-defined internal skeleton system, including backbone. Vertebral column provide structural support and enable flexible motion of the body, as shown in the picture. Invertebrates can be simply identified as animals that don't have a backbone. This means most of them do not possess a rigid body structure. For example, earthworm, cockroach, etc. To compensate for the lack of an internal skeleton, most of the invertebrates have an external skeleton that protects their soft inner body. For example, snails and bivalves has shell as their protective external skeleton. Students, we have learned that producing another living things like oneself is called reproduction. Animals shows different methods of production of young ones. According to the mode of reproduction, animals are classified into two types, namely oviparous animals and viviparous animals. Oviparous animals lay eggs. In case of oviparous animals, the females of the species lay eggs externally or outside the body. These eggs later hatch into a young member of the species. For example, a hen lays eggs and hatches them. After a few days, the young chicks hatch out of the eggs. Fishes also release thousands of eggs, scattering them in the water, where the male fish fertilize them. The eggs develop and hatch into larva, that is a baby fish, without any help from the parent fish. And then that larva grows further into an adult fish. Viviparous animals do not lay eggs. They give birth to their young ones. In viviparous animals, growth of the fertilized egg takes place within the maternal body until the young animal is capable of independent existence. The growing embryo derives continuous nourishment from the mother. This is the case in most of the animals, including human beings. For example, a cow gives birth to a calf. Before that, the calf grows within the cow's body. The animals which live on land and do their biological activities on land are called as terrestrial animals. Humans and most other members of the animal kingdom are predominantly terrestrial. Terrestrial habitat includes forest, grasslands, desert, mountains, etc. Terrestrial animals shows various adaptations in their body structure depending on their habitat. For example, camels have wide feet for walking in the sand of deserts. They are adapted to survive for a longer period of time without water. Aquatic animals live in water. They either live in fresh water such as lakes, rivers and ponds, or they live in salt water like the ocean. Aquatic animals also shows various adaptation in their body structure in order to survive in water. For example, fishes have gills for respiration and streamlined body shape which helps them to swim in water. Amphibians are the animals that are characterized by their ability to survive both in water and on land. For example, frogs, salamander, etc. Amphibians' body structure is adapted in such a way that they can perform their life processes in water as well as on land. For example, frogs can breathe through their skin when they are in water, and they use their lungs for respiration when they are on land. Children, a sparrow, an eagle, a honeybee, a kite all fly in the air, though they live in different places. These animals are said to have an aerial mode of life. The presence of air sacs and feathers helps the birds to adapt the aerial mode of life. Therefore, the birds are described as master of air. Not only birds but also insects shows aerial mode of life. Let us revise once what we have learned in this lesson. In this lesson, we have seen classification of plants and animals on the basis of various criteria. Let us revise the classification of plants. Depending on mode of nutrition, plants are classified as autotrophic plants, heterotrophic plants, and insectivorous plants. Depending on their structure, shape, and size, plants are classified as trees, shrubs, herbs, and vines. Depending on presence or absence of flowers, plants are classified as flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Depending on the period of their life cycle, plants are classified as annual plants, biennial plants, and perennial plants. Let us have a look on classification of animals depending on various criteria. Depending on the cell structure, animals are classified as unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Depending on presence or absence of vertebral column, animals are classified as vertebrates and invertebrates. Animals are classified on the basis of their mode of reproduction. Mode of reproduction classifies animals as oviparous animals and viviparous animals. Depending on the habitat, animals are classified as terrestrial animals, aquatic animals, amphibians, and the animals with aerial mode of life. Let us do the exercise. Question number 1. Define the following. First, unicellular organisms. The organisms which consist of a single cell are called as unicellular organisms. Second, amphibians. The organisms which can live on land as well as in water are called as amphibians. Question number 2. What is the difference? Oviparous animals and viviparous animals. Oviparous animals lay eggs. Viviparous animals do not lay eggs. Examples of oviparous animals are hen, fish, etc. Examples of viviparous animals are human, cow, etc. Question number 3. Write 2 examples of each of the following. First, invertebrates. Examples are earthworm, snail, etc. Second, multicellular organisms. Example, human, mango tree, etc. Thank you.